Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and we're going to take a look at some more ticker symbols that were in play today. Okay, first up, let's take a look at OPXA. Very nice move today, closed up 29%. So that was a very strong move. This is a stock that we had alerted earlier, so this was nice follow through. Congrats to everybody that's been following our charts in TA. Closed here at 63, so there's still room to run until the 70 overbought level on RSI. If you look down here at Fasto, you'll see that it's in the 50 to 80 bull zone, currently at 51. So there is still a lot of room to run here on Fasto. So that is good. The chart is just heating up here. You've got so you've got RSI, Fasto, both in the bull zone, both have room to run. Then you have plus DI here bouncing off of ADX, so the bulls are still clearly in control. This is a chart that we had posted earlier today in our chat. If you look here, yesterday we were looking for a bounce off the middle Bollinger Band. That happened, and it closed above the 100-day simple moving average, currently at 0.738. And then today there was nice follow through, so that was really good to see. Notice this mini gap filled. There was a gap between low of day on Tuesday of last week and then high of day on Wednesday, and so, or actually that was Wednesday and Thursday of last week. So the gap filled, and then now that is putting this 200-day simple moving average at basically 115, 114.6, and the closing price here on the first trading day of July. Those are basically lined up together. So we're looking at this 115 to 118 resistance zone. You want to see a close above that level if you're a bull, and that will signal more upside potential. That would put the 300-day simple moving average at 198 on deck. So if OPXA can follow through and close above the 200-day simple moving average, notice it was resistance back here when it was tested last week, and it failed to close above that level. A close above that level will be the signal everyone's looking for to possibly put the $2 level on deck. Notice the close today was at 101. So once again, the share price is at that dollar land level, and so that's going to be a really big level to turn it into support. You want to see the candles stay above $1. If there is a pullback, EMA 4 at 89 is the first support level to hold. As long as candles are still forming above this 100-day simple moving average and the middle Bollinger Band, the uptrend is intact. So we're looking for a break through that 100-day simple moving or 200-day simple moving average to signal more upside potential. Notice there was a nice volume spike today, so volume is picking back up after the declining volume pattern. That's exactly what you want to see. And there was a bull cross down here on MACD. So the chart, is heating back up. There was nice follow through today after the bounce off of the middle Bollinger Band. That was a signal the uptrend is still intact. Just needs to break resistance to head higher. Okay, let's look at APHB. Nice move today, closed up 16%. RSI is at 55, so there's a lot of room to run until overbought levels. There was a bullish crossover on Fasto today, and it broke back above 50, so that is good. There's still some room to run until the 80 overbought level. Plus DI is hooking back up here, curling back up, signaling the bulls are still in control. Okay, so this is a chart that we had posted a few days ago. I did some updates above. This is the annotations from before, and last week there was the close above the 50-day simple moving average, and we were looking for that level to hold. It failed to hold, and that happens many times. The share price had to pull back, test support. The middle Bollinger Band held like a champ. That's exactly what you want to see. Notice the lower wicks held the middle Bollinger Band, currently at 86. As long as that middle Bollinger Band is holding, then this uptrend is intact. Sometimes these plays just take some patience, a little bit of time for the play to develop. Notice the close today was back above that 50-day simple moving average at 99. We want to see that level hold. As long as the candles stay above $1, there should be more upside potential. The next level to break. Okay, so now you do have the close here from last week. So that's going to be from Thursday of last week. You want to see a break above that closing price, and then the bottom of this gap. There's a gap from back here in May, and so the bottom of the gap level is going to be the huge level to bust through, and then if it can get through the bottom of the gap level, then that could possibly be the gap fill that we're looking for. Keep in mind the bottom of the gap is always a big resistance level to break, and a close above it usually signals that the stock wants to run higher. So a close above this red horizontal resistance line could put a potential run. You know, there's going to be some resistance over here from this candle, but the top of the gap is up here currently at 220, and then you have the 100-day simple moving average at 265. So first things first, let's see if this 50-day simple moving average can hold. You want to see candles stay above that level and the uptrend continue. Okay, so really nice move for APHB. We're going to see if it can follow through. If you look here today, it did form bullish engulfing reversal pattern. So that is a very strong reversal pattern, and so we will be looking for bullish reversal confirmation. Notice the white candle completely engulfs the previous red candle. Okay, let's look at VSTM. Okay, this stock has been on this really nice uptrend. Closed today up 16%. You know, it had a little pause candle yesterday. We like to call it a pause candle, but the uptrend was intact and it kept going. You know, it is in the power zone on Fasto, but it's pushing higher, so it's overbought on Fasto or RSI 80, and then Fasto's at 78. It's hitting the overbought power zone. And what's going on here is that the stock broke out last week. It had been trading in a sideways channel. You know, it's been in this longer uptrend, a slow moving uptrend, you know, and that worked its way into a couple months sideways channel. And then last week there was a break above resistance. The closing price back here on May 22nd was the big level to break. That broke last Thursday, and then it also closed above the ascending resistance line. You know, that was signaling more upside potential. The big move and close above the upper Bollinger Band last Thursday, you know, signaled that the stock was getting a little ahead of itself, so the candles did work their way back into the bands. That happens many times. Notice this red candle was a small red candle, still forming above the upper Bollinger Band. We call that just a pause candle. And the EMA 4 support was still holding. As long as the EMA 4 support's holding, the chart is very strong, and it signals more upside potential. The close above the upper Bollinger Band, once again today with this long upper wick, does signal the candles could work their way back into the bands. If that happens, you want to see 355 hold. As long as the EMA 4 is holding, the chart is super strong. Once you see a close below that level, that's when you could see it possibly pull back to EMA 8 or EMA 13. You know, you could see possibly this ascending resistance line be tested to see if it turns into support. But since VSTM is breaking out, notice the big volume spikes. You know, it's getting very parabolic on MACD. This is a very unsustainable trajectory. When you get the very steep trajectory like that, many times it has to start hooking over, like back here. You know, it's an unsustainable move. So we'll see how long it can keep pushing higher on the current run. If you look here on the weekly chart, okay, you can see it's up 10% for the week, and then the big move is how it broke above the bottom of the gap last week. Notice that there's a gap back here in 2015, September of 2015, and then last week there was a close above the bottom of the gap. So this week's candle is still working on filling the gap. Notice the upper wick is up here at 450, and then you've got the top of the gap is up here at 550. So once the share price hits 550, this gap will be filled, and the 200-week moving average at 577 is the next big simple moving average resistance level to break. So this is the big target, 550 to 575, you know, 577. You know, that this top of the gap 200-week moving average will be the next key levels to break if the strong uptrend continues. If the candles do work their way back into the bands, you want to see EMA 4 at 326 hold. You notice, you know, this break above the 50-week moving average back here in March was the signal that the start of this big run. And so take note. Look how there hadn't been a close above the 50-week moving average in years, literally years. So that was your signal that the stock was in play for a swing trade, and you literally could have loaded on this candle and still been riding. You notice that the candles have been still above the middle Bollinger Band. As long as the middle Bollinger Band is holding, there is more upside potential and the uptrend is intact. Okay, let's look at MNGA. Okay, this is a thinly traded stock that's heating up. Just put this on your radar. It made a bullish technical development today. There's still a lot of room to run on RSI. You want to see that get above 50. Fasto spiked on the bullish move. It's hitting 80. Okay, so the big move here is the close above the middle Bollinger Band, currently at 126. Okay, look at this really long, nasty downtrend. You have to go way back here on the chart. It's looking like back here in this zone, back here in February, March was the last time there was a close above the middle Bollinger Band. It was tested here, didn't get a chance to close above. This upper wick hit. This upper wick hit. But each time the share price failed to close above the middle Bollinger Band. Finally, down here in June, support has been hit, and it traded sideways. It had this little downtrending channel, but it's holding the sideways channel. And then today there was a break above high close resistance, and then a close above the middle Bollinger Band. So that close above the middle Bollinger Band is signaling to us that a possible new uptrend could be starting. So put this on your radar. We're going to see if the middle Bollinger Band can hold. In order for this to be in play, it needs to stay above the middle Bollinger Band at 126. If it closes back below, this will be a super big risk to hold, since it's been in such a long, nasty downtrend. And if support does hold, then we're looking at our target up here is the 50-day simple moving average at 185. Notice that's lining up with this 180 support level. That should be resistance. Big volume spike on the move today. This is a thinly traded stock. It just caught our eye with the bullish close above the middle Bollinger Band, so we'll see if it can get an uptrend going and follow through. Okay, so now one more stock to look at. This is PURA. It closed up 34% today. If you look up here, you can see it trades on the OTC, and it closed up 34%. It's an over-the-counter stock. Fasto or RSI is now at 54, so it's in the 50 to 70 bull zone with room to run. We've got Fasto above 80, bullish crossover on 80x. So the bullish development on this chart today is the close above the 50-day simple moving average. Remember what I just said on the 50-week moving average on that last chart? Well, the same thing can be said on the daily chart. When there hasn't been a close above a key resistance level for a long time, and then there is a close above, that is a signal that there's potential more upside. So if you look here at the end of June, PURA closed above the 50-day simple moving average, failed to hold that level and pulled back. And then now today, there's the first close back above that level since back in June. And so, and then that's the first close since June. June was the first time since many, so you had to go way back here in the March, the beginning of March, to see the last close above the 50-day simple moving average. So this is our signal. The chart could be heating up. It needs to stay above that level to stay in play, currently at 0.0247. And then if it does, you can see here there's this convergence of the 100, 200, and 300-day simple moving averages. The 100-day simple moving average is at 33, and that is the top level to break. If it can get above 33, it could really get moving. 0.313 is the bottom simple moving average, the 300-day simple moving average, and that'll be the first level to break. So keep an eye on it. If it can hold the 50-day simple moving average and get above the 100-day simple moving average at 33, it could break out higher. This did have some news today. If you check out our website, we've got the marijuana sector news and charts. It's trying to get into the Texas market here with a 25 greenhouse operation. It signed a letter of intent. So we're going to keep an eye on it. If you go down here, they've been in the extraction business, and in their PR today, they're making a claim that their extractions are compared to GW Pharmaceutical, and they're trying to claim that their patented process could actually be superior in purity and quality. So I don't know about all that. Everybody knows GWPH is the leader of the pack. It's trading at $100 a share right now. So that's a really bold statement. But the extraction process is a huge part of the cannabis industry now. So yeah. So if you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, please check us out at mychartcoach.com, and check out our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com as well. Thank you.